And we're live. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How you doing?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good, pal. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a very long time.
It's been so long that I'm having to adjust this mic and tighten it.
Yeah, because I've been using it over there.
I can tell you've been using this because your one's always like, it drops down. And I'm like, I've always been like, I'm glad mine doesn't do that.
Yeah, well. Yeah, because that could be, I could have swapped them by accident, actually.
Well, I don't think it was an accident now.
Yeah.
You got a good mic there.
So let's adjust the elephant in the room. I drove a Lamborghini.
Yeah, when Cairo said in chat, was that you in Lamborghini? My mind literally went, he hasn't mentioned anything to me, but I can imagine that was him in a Lamborghini.
No, I thought you were going to expect me to be obviously not, like you said.
No, honestly, I was thinking more likely was. Yeah.
Really? You thought that?
Yeah, man. How many, That's Maserati, Lamborghini.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Mustang.
Mustang, yeah. Do you know what the funniest thing is? I'm not even
Shall I continue?
No, you'd be Astra.
Pajero.
Oh, yeah. So for context, what happened basically is...
just a normal Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So the end of it is basically Cairo, Kaya and I have a WhatsApp group, and Cairo texted that WhatsApp group at the end of a certain day. I was like, Faisal, is it me or did I see you driving around in a Lamborghini? And obviously that's like, you'd imagine probably the response to that would be obviously like, no, of course not. Like you probably just saw someone driving around. Like, and I was like, then I sent him a picture of me in a Lamborghini. I was like, sorry? Yeah. So basically what happened is, my brother-in-law came here for Eid, and he basically said, like, as an Eid present and as a gift for hitting 100,000 subscribers, which the whole 100,000 subscribers thing, we're basically trying to ignore until the plaque comes so we could do a proper video about it. But he surprise rented a Lambo for the day. So what's really funny about it though is that you know me very well, and I'm not necessarily a supercar guy.
Oh no, of course not.
And I think there's two things that I'm like not mad into.
You hate cars, yeah.
No. Like two things that I'm mad, like as in I'm not like they're not a fitna for me. Yeah. Like luxury watches and luxury cars. But it was very nice for him, and I was very grateful. Obviously, it's an experience that I haven't driven a Lamborghini before, and so I was like, all right, fine, let's make the most of it. We went down to Half Desert Road, took some pictures in Lamborghini, never posted them, but it was just like interesting and fun, and I learned a lot. So that's what happened basically, and but it's just so funny because I'm not really like a sports car guy really. Like I drive in Dubai, I drive a Yaris, and at home in London I drive a Astra. So that's like my level of car, and bro, I love my Astra. I won't say the same about the Yaris, but
the Yaris is nice, man.
It is smooth. It does its thing. But the Yaris is a rental. The Astra is actually mine, but it's a bit beat up, to be honest, the Astra now. Anyway, so I ended up driving Lamborghini for the day, and it was really funny because I felt so awkward at sometimes. Like basically what happened is, all right, let me track it back. So I'm not a huge car guy. It's not a fitna for me. I'm not like always thinking about like I want to try this car, I want to try that car. But what has happened is, over the past year, there's been times where like there's been an excuse, like so for example, episode 300 we hired a Maserati because the point was we were trying to do this big like vloggy episode and we thought it'd be cool for the video. So and it like made the episode like fun, and we were driving around Maseratis. It was like there's added like a level of vibe to it, but we did it for the video. And then before that I had a guest come to Dubai, and I wanted to really like make it special for my guest, and so I hired a what was it that time? It was a Ford Mustang, but it was like a really nice kitted out one. Yeah. And so he enjoyed that as well, and like that was nice. So I wouldn't like hire. I'm not like hire, but that's the times I've enjoyed a luxury car. Well, a Mustang's not really a luxury car, is it? But that was like a special kitted out one.
Yeah. You look nice.
I could just actually say I don't know why I'm like being so oblivious. So Dan Juma came to Dubai.
Yeah.
And
it's not like you to not name drop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but I was thinking, why am I hiding? Because now I've made it sound like a secret wife. I had a guest and the guest in it. So he's very humble. Like he would literally drive around in my Yaris, but because he is like that, I wanted to do something special. So we spent the day together, and I got a Mustang that had, like, he does a snake thing. He has like a snake on the front of it and stuff like that. So Cobra. So anyway, where am I going with this? So we went to desert, took some pictures and stuff. It was nice. And then after I came home and I was like to my wife, like, do you want to go for a drive in the Lambo?
Yeah.
And so we went for a drive, and that's obviously when Cairo must have seen me.
Right.
But we were driving around the area. We were driving around the area, bro, and we get to zebra crossing by the mosque. You know the mosque near the small mosque, yeah. And this small mosque is like a community mosque. Like the imam kind of knows everyone because there's a big grand mosque in my area, and then there's a small mosque. And the small mosque, everyone knows each other. The grand mosque, obviously, loads of people go to. And so I'm more frequent in this smaller mosque. And so I stop in the Lamborghini at the zebra crossing, bright orange Lambo, and guess who's crossing the zebra crossing? The imam, bro. And I saw him, I just put my head down and I said, oh my gosh, that's the imam. I did not want him to see me in the Lamborghini. And then my wife was like, I think he saw you because he just looked over here and he started smiling. I was like, no. Because, bro, like, what am I saying? I'm trying, like, because it's not even like I'm trying to stunt, bro. Like, my brother-in-law got it as a gift and I was like, that's nice of him. Yeah. Like, let me take my wife for a spinner. So yeah, that happened. But yeah, so then Cairo saw me as well. And it's just like a whole thing of like, it's so funny because like 10 years ago, I would have been like wanting everyone to see, taking pictures, putting them on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then this time around, I was like embarrassed. But I did learn some things.
Okay.
So this is the learning part of the story, right? What's it like driving a Lambo?
My question was going to be, what's it like technically?
Okay, that's great. No, I'll let you interview me on the Lambo.
All right, great. I've been waiting for this.
Have you driven a Lambo before?
You know what I was going to say? I have never driven a supercar or even like a really nice car. You know what I mean? So I'm coming. This is very much now a peasant, rich guy
exactly.
moment, right? How is it like? Obviously, you're driving a Yaris usually. Is it like, no, you and me both drive. You and me both drive normal cars. We don't drive supercars. When you put your foot down, is it like mad? Is it, or is it just like, you know, it's just like, it's not a big deal?
When you put your foot down, it's mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's mad when you put the foot down, and also it looks better from the outside than it does on the inside.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So it's a complete head turner. Neighbours were coming out of their houses.
Oh, really?
Like the kids. Like and I was like,
because you're doing donuts side the road.
I was like, this is too much. Like, this is not my car.
Guys, it's not like, I don't want the attention. He's doing donuts in a driveway.
But the kid next door was like really miserable. He came out and looked at it. Yeah. And I felt bad for him. So I said to my brother-in-law, I said, if he comes out again, I'll ask him.
You felt bad. You dropped him a tenner.
No, I
feel so bad for these peasants.
I said to my brother-in-law, I was like, if he comes back out to look at it, I'll ask him, like, do you want to, like, ask your dad if you can go for a spin?
Do you want to clean my shoes?
I'll take you around the block. So, anyway, so it definitely, like, because when I was outside driving my Yaris and my brother-in-law was driving the Lambo, it looks so sick from the outside and he looks sick in it. Yeah. But then when you're inside, you don't see it from the outside, so you don't really realize how sick it looks. Inside is very uncomfortable. It's not a car that you can go long journeys with. It's very tight. It's almost like what I imagine a like Formula One car to feel like, which is like you feel very boxed in. So it's definitely like a boy's toy that you would drive around on a weekend or quick drive here and there. And I imagine the petrol is mad as well. So, but yeah, and I don't think it's good for you.
I can imagine, because my next question was going to be, did you feel more eyes on you?
Yeah.
But I guess the proof of it already was the fact that Cairo saw you in it.
Yeah.
The Imam looked, who is, I know, I kind of out of principle try not to look at supercars because I kind of know like most people just doing it to be looked at and I just don't want to give them pleasure. Not that I've got anything against it, but it's just like, if they're revving the engine and stuff like that, if they're looking for that attention, I won't look.
Yeah.
But it's just like they're there, so I will look at them. But I guess the proof is there that people were looking to see who you were. But did you feel that? Yeah.
And also like, I was embarrassed, like, because when you turn the engine on outside the house, it goes. I thought that was only when you rev it, but it actually does that to start.
Right.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like my neighbors are gonna hear and look out and stuff. And I wasn't like embarrassed, like, oh my gosh, like look. But it was I didn't want to disturb anyone, like cause noise pollution or anything. And so I was just trying to. But it was very. With that said, I'm very appreciative to my brother-in-law because he. How thoughtful is that?
Yeah.
And he is so generous and he wanted me to have a good time and he drove it around a lot and I drove it around a lot. We just enjoyed it and it was nice. And then he went back and then I stuck to the Yaris. But
Automatic.
yeah, man, it was interesting. You could tick it off the list,
Yeah.
but I definitely have no desire to necessarily buy a Lamborghini.
Yeah, I think I've said this to you before. Firstly, I've never rented any supercar just because I can't really understand the need. Like, if someone had it, I definitely want to drive it.
Yeah.
But it's like I can't see myself just going down to the place.
But would you do it, for example, like, okay,
like you did, someone's visiting, I could do it kind of
right?
for them. I could definitely see me doing it for someone.
Like your brother's coming down, I'm going to your brother's sick day. Like, I'm going to surprise him, like, turn up in a Ferrari. Like,
that's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for that I can definitely see it. But for myself, I don't really see the point. I'd rather spend my money on other luxuries, like that type of thing. Yeah. But I was going to say, you asked me a question.
I can't remember.
Yeah, the point is, I just can't understand really the point of renting them.
Yeah, no, I was speaking about the noise pollution.
No, it's something about buying it.
Yeah, I can't see myself buying it.
Again, I don't think I'd buy a supercar of that level, because that's like, what, 500 grand? A good Lamborghini.
Really?
Like 300, I think so. 400 grand minimum, I think. No. For a good, for a relatively new one.
You get a house for that.
If you're buying Lamborghini, if you buy a Lamborghini, you don't buy an old one, you buy a new one.
Yeah, of course.
So you're looking at 400 grand. I just can't really see the point. I'd rather buy like 2 100 grand cars.
Yeah, like I think if I wanted like a really nice car, I've told you this before, but I feel like my dream nice car is a Porsche Panamera. Yeah. I feel like it's sleek.
It's nice.
It's 5-seater, so it's a family car.
Porsche isn't my cup of tea, though, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, Bugatti only. No, I'd probably get like a G-Wagon, but that's also like 300 grand. Nice. So it's not exactly cheap either. But G-Wagon is more practical.
Especially in the desert.
Exactly. So the supercar thing is literally like you're paying more money for far less usability. So it's literally just a toy, which is like, man, it's like, unless I'm like almost a billionaire, I just couldn't see myself doing it. I just couldn't see the point.
Even then, like, you can spend the money so like
So I'd probably the G-Wagon is like the top I'd go. But under that, it's like the Patrol. I like Nissan Patrols. Kitted down Nissan Patrol, black down Nissan Patrol. That's these.
There's that is nice. There's a rule that I have for myself, which is probably a weird rule that I would never impose on anybody else. And that rule is that I won't buy myself a luxury watch.
Oh no, that's on my list.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Now I can see why. And so many of my friends have got like Rolexes. Like, bro, 2 of my best friends have a Rolex. I have many Rolexes. Sam like loves a good Rolex, and he's actually taught me like the importance of a luxury timepiece as an investment. And maybe I would invest in it for investment. I even said on a podcast once, like, maybe like for my kids, like if I stocked up money to get like a watch as an investment. The point is though, is that it's more so the meaning behind it for me, which is I don't wear watches. I never wear watches, and so if I was to get a Rolex, unless it was for an investment that I would like keep away, it would only be for flex. And I think, well, a flex is un-Islamic, isn't it? Doing anything for the ego, or for people to look at you, or to, I think that you should be able to enjoy comfortable or luxury things, but if you genuinely enjoy it. So like we've mentioned before, like that could be for us it could be like a really nice big comfortable car. It could be a nice big comfortable house, or technology, or a nice monitor for your laptop, whatever it might be. But that's why I said I would never impose a rule on anybody else, because I think that for some people that could be their thing, and also because it's an investment, and I can see why it's a great investment, because it doesn't depreciate. But just me personally, I feel like if I got myself a Rolex, that would be to wear around or stuff like that. It'll be a sign to me that I've lost control of it, and I'm now starting to like do things that is not Faisal. It's like, you wouldn't normally do that. So why are you doing it? It's obviously just because you have the money, and now you want people to see that you have money, which doesn't feel right for me.
That's how I'd feel about the Ferrari or Lamborghini. So I've got no internal desire for it, so I'd only be doing it to like just impress people.
Others,
unless I was to like rent one and realize it's amazing and I have to have one. That might change, but as of today, I've got no like inner desire to drive a Lamborghini or to own one. So I can only imagine the reason I'd only ever do it is to impress, which is not good. So yeah, I think that's I think there's good. Everyone's different, isn't it? Like for a watch, I do like watches. I'm wearing one today, but I'd like to wear watches. There is a line, of course, where it's like, okay, you can get like a 300 grand watch. For me, I don't have an internal desire to buy the most expensive watch out there, but there are certain Rolexes, certain like other brands where it's like it's not a crazy amount of money and it doesn't lose value and it can even gain value.
I can understand the investment.
So for that, from that perspective, I'm like, okay, this doesn't seem like a total flex, because I usually enjoy wearing watches. This isn't something that's just like throw money down a drain. Whereas with a car, it's literally like the second you buy a Lamborghini, it's lost half its value. Do you know what I mean? So it's literally like throwing money down a drain a little bit. So for me, it's different, but everyone is different, as we've spoken about before, on like, oh, where should people spend their money? But I think everyone should have those 2 or 3 things in their life where it's like that, if it's a car, watch, designer clothes, whatever it may be. If you've got no internal desire for it, like make sure that doesn't change for no good reason.
This is my alert to myself.
Yeah, exactly.
That I'm now going too far.
Exactly.
For some people, it could be like booking a business class flight because I don't mind flying
That's
economy.
it.
Whereas me, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait to like only book business class.
It's true.
But then I'm not buying a watch, right?
Yeah.
Or like a mad car.
That's it. I think as long as you've got those things where there's not much desire for it, you can sort of use that as like the litmus test. Like, have I been corrupted by the dunya to the point where everything is off limits? I will buy everything to impress people or impress myself,
which I don't necessarily care about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you've got none of those boundaries, the thing is, we've spoken about this. Everyone's got some natural boundary. You're not interested in everything.
Yeah.
There's no way you're interested in business class, Lamborghinis, watches, and eating out at the best restaurants, and designer clothes, and.
Yeah.
There's definitely some things you don't really care about. So use those as your litmus test, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The only other thing that's new in my life is that today I went for a run.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You decided to get into that just as we go into summer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but I ran inside, which is a bit ridiculous, isn't it? I ran on a treadmill.
Oh, okay. Oh, at a gym.
Yeah.
So you went to the gym?
No, but I don't run. So the last time I ran...
But when you say you went for a run, it means like you ran around the neighbourhood.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
No, but I still went for a run.
No, you didn't. You was on a treadmill.
I went to a run.
Yeah, you attended a stationary run.
Yeah, I attended to I ran on a treadmill, yeah. I decided that I'm going to start running on a treadmill. It's too hot to run outside now, bro. Come on.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, like, it's getting hotter now.
So I did 30 minutes straight.
Oh, wow.
Well, not straight. Like I, did some walking, then mostly...
Did 10 minutes here,
yeah,
got off for an hour.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
But I went on the treadmill, and then 30 minutes later I got off. For most of the time I was running, sometimes I was walking at a decent pace.
That's still great.
And I feel horrible.
Yeah.
I feel absolutely broken. I feel sick. I feel ill. My legs hurt. And I realised why.
Because you ran for half an hour on a treadmill.
Half an hour today, yeah. We're getting somewhere. Bro, but how bad is it that... I can't remember the last time I did some cardio fitness. Obviously, obviously I train weights. You just have to look at me. You just have to look at me to know that.
Yeah.
But when was the last time like you just tested your heart and cardio? It's actually crazy. Like, think about footballers, they play 90 minutes on a pitch and they're training every day and stuff like that. So I'm really happy that I did it, and I'm really happy that I feel so horrible, because that must mean that I'm doing something good with my body, and my body's going through a bit of pain, which is nice. And I'm going to try and do it more often, as much as I can, a few times a week. And the reason I did it is because the last time I did like proper running like this was when I was going from high school to sixth form, and I was going to a new sixth form. And a school that I hadn't been to before, and I thought, I'm about to go to a new place. I want to try and be like a better version of myself,
fit and fresh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I want to feel good.
Yeah.
And so I would run every day for 40 minutes on a treadmill.
You'd run to school every day.
Because I was a bit podgy.
Yeah.
And at that age, at like 15, I weighed myself once. I was 12 stone, because back then I used to measure everything in stone.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do in the UK, I think, right?
That's what you did, yeah.
And
I still don't really get a kg. When someone asks me how many kg you do, I'm like, mate, I don't
really?
know.
So anyway, so I now do kg, but I was 12 stone, and I just, for some reason in my head, I was like, had in my head that 12 stone is really overweight.
It's not that bad.
But maybe for like a 15-year-old kid, it probably is.
Slightly, but not bad. I wouldn't say you were like obese or anything like that, 12 stone.
So then I just ran.
Yeah.
I went to gym every day, and I ran on the treadmill 40 minutes. And I stopped eating biscuits. The two changes I made, and I lost. I went at 10 stone. I bought like 9.5. So I thought it worked. So then, since then, I haven't ran.
Yeah,
that was my running.
And you've resumed biscuits.
Yeah, I've resumed biscuits. So then I was like, you know what, bruv? I want to get fit. I'm getting older, and I'm heavier than I want to be. I was at like 83 kilos before Ramadan, and I was like, I don't want to be 83, man. I want to be like 75.
That's where I was. I think it was 82 and a bit, or 83 and a bit, something like that.
Yeah, I don't want to be that, man. So I want to get down 75. So I was like, I want to do the one thing that I know works, which is running.
Yeah, I was doing swimming. Alhamdulillah, I was like on a roll with swimming, like November, December. And then just like circumstances meant I couldn't like continue for a bit, but I think inshallah the next couple of weeks I'm gonna get back on that. For me, on a treadmill, I'm not very good at like endurance stuff really. Like on a treadmill, I'm lasting like, if I'm doing like good stuff like what you were doing today, jogging, high intensity running, and you know, only walking, not stopping like to actually have a break. 10 minutes and I'm done. I can't do more than that. One, because I just get bored.
You can, yeah, boredom is
I can, but one, I'm extremely tired at that point. And two, I'm very bored. Like I just like, man, I need to do something else now. But swimming,
the boredom thing is real. But
yeah.
you'd be surprised how quickly you can build up your endurance.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Within a week or two, bro, you're doing 30 minutes and 40 minutes. Like,
yeah,
if you're doing it every day.
Rowing, I found when I was going to the gym when I went to the gym a few times a couple of years ago, I was mixing up the treadmill and rowing. And between the two, I was getting like a decent workout, like cardio workout just from them two.
That's good.
So that was good. But for me, swimming seems to be the way because a lot of things are happening at once when you're swimming. I'm getting outdoor time, which is I'm trying to get more of now, just more sunshine.
Bit of vitamin D.
It's deeper than that though. I won't talk about that. It's deeper vitamin D. Outdoor time / sunshine. The actual cardio of swimming. And even when you're not doing anything in the pool, just by being in the pool, you're sort of it's better than just like standing up outside. Like you're having to like float, you're having to like move your arms, your legs. So it's like you're constantly doing cardio in the pool, and it's also relaxing. Every second you're actually just like taking a break in the pool, it's like you're in the pool and you're like, you know, there's trees
in Dubai,
in the pool. So it's nice. So you're getting like 3 things at once. Whereas in the gym, I feel like you're just like, oh, I must run on this plastic treadmill. So I like it. And I feel more motivated to go and do that than I would just like to go to the gym. So inshallah, I'm going to get back on that. But yeah, the sunshine thing's important, man. I'm trying to sort my immune system out. Sleep,
yeah, you were saying you're
sunshine.
trying to reset your circadian rhythm.
I did it, alhamdulillah. So we spoke about this before, Human Lab podcast.
Yeah.
The importance of sunshine in the morning. Yeah, when you wake up. So this is a few days ago. I was struggling to get out of my London time zone into the Dubai time zone. And I was asleep at night and I was trying to nap in the day. It was messed up. So what I did is, it was a Saturday morning, I think last week. I woke up and I went straight outside after I woke up into the garden. I just sat there for I think it was 20 minutes.
Which for context is recommended by Dr. Andrew Huberman, who says that the first thing you should do when you wake up, avoid like your phones and stuff, go straight to sunlight.
Yeah.
And that will resets your circadian rhythm. And at that point, about, what did he say, 14 hours after that is when you go to a full cycle and you should sleep.
Something like that,
12
something
hours.
like that. So basically, I said direct sunlight. That's not even true. You can go out, even if it's cloudy. As long as you're outside, you're going to get the vitamin D in the morning. And that's what you need. Your eye needs to see the sun in the morning as soon as you wake up, or in the first hour after waking up. You've got to be outside, right? So that's what I did, and that helps to, if I get this correct, clean up the adenosine in your brain, which is the thing that makes you go to sleep. It clears it out of your brain, and then it helps to spike your cortisol levels, which is what your body needs to start waking itself up and feeling awake in the morning. And again, it kickstarts your circadian rhythm, saying, oh, okay, this is morning time. It's time to start the day. So that's starting your day off, right? And then around Maghrib time, you should see the sun set. You should see the sun going down. Try to get that sun, those colors in your eyes. That also tells your brain to start producing melatonin and other stuff. I don't know.
Adenosine, maybe? No?
Adenosine is building up throughout the day anyway.
Oh, okay.
So once you clear it out, it starts to build up. What caffeine does is it blocks the adenosine receptor in your brain. That's why it stops you falling asleep, because adenosine is trying to kind of get into this little, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, trying to get in there, but caffeine blocks it. So adenosine can't get there, which means you won't feel as tired as quickly.
And what did he say about why you get really tired? You have a bit of a crash a few hours after caffeine.
So what he said, does
adenosine just come rushing back in then?
No. So what he said was, this is why he recommends you don't drink coffee straight away when you wake up. You wait about an hour to 90 minutes, or 90 minutes to 180 minutes. He said. So basically, don't drink coffee straight away, because when you wake up, there's still some adenosine in your brain. That's why he says you need that hour to clear it up, right? Your brain clears it up in the morning. But if you have a coffee straight away, there's still, I think there's adenosine. This is bro science for sure. I think it's trapped in there still, or there's still some there that couldn't.
Oh, hey, let me out.
Yeah. It couldn't be cleared. No. Yeah, it couldn't be cleared or something like that. And then 3 or 4 hours later, you get a crash because you didn't let it clear out, basically, right? So I think that's it. Could be bro science, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So the solution to that crash is don't drink coffee straight away in the morning. Get the sunlight instead. That will help wake you up and clear out the adenosine, and then have the caffeine. Right. So I'm following a lot of what he says. Plus vitamin D. I'm taking vitamin D supplements. But again, the sunshine, like people think, oh, it's just vitamin D, but it's not. Again, the cortisol levels, everything, it helps start your day properly. I did that for one day, and that night I went to bed at like a good time, and alhamdulillah, I slept well for the first time in like a week. So it's real, man. The sun, alhamdulillah.
So one day you were sorted.
Yeah, essentially. And again, I have let it go a little bit since then, but nowhere near as bad as I used to be. But like for that day, I think I fell asleep before midnight, which for me is like fantastic, and I slept like 6-7 hours that night, which for me is good. And as long as I keep doing that, it should be fine. It's only my laziness that would stop me from doing that. But it does work.
I have no problem getting adenosine to my brain.
Yeah. I mean, not why, but the problem is I was sleeping, but like I would sleep. My brain was just messed up. So I'd sleep for like 2-3 hours and wake up, and I'll be wide awake. Yeah. So I ain't slept enough. And then it's just like, it was all messed up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The sun, alhamdulillah, man. Blessing from Allah. It really is.
Yeah, it's amazing because of how much this stuff like relates to Islam, isn't it? Because he was talking about, first thing you should do is, the ideal scenario is that you watch the sunrise.
Exactly. Fajr, so going
to Fajr, yeah.
Going Fajr time, that again helps to... So basically, what you're saying in a different podcast, that people think that, the blue light, like you get, from screens and stuff, that sort of wakes you up or whatever. It does to an extent, he said, but what your brain is looking for in light, something like that, basically the oranges and the changes of color in the sky tells our brain through our eyes what time of day it is and what chemicals to produce. So again, in the morning time, it's like, okay, it's time to produce cortisol to wake up because the sun is rising, the colors in the sky tell our eyes that. At Maghrib time, you can see the sun setting, the colors are different, and your brain knows now it's nighttime, time to start producing melatonin to go to sleep soon.
How amazing is how Allah's created?
SubhanAllah, you know what I mean? That's like, how do people watch these podcasts and just think that?
How can you deny the creator?
SubhanAllah, like, it's just so obvious, and so constantly being reminded that everything has been designed perfectly.
Down to T. It's amazing, man.
Alhamdulillah, honestly. I listen to these podcasts, I just like, it increases my iman because they just say, oh, the human body is like this and like this. It's like, if that's like, how are you sitting there and not thinking, wow, this is like perfect?
How is human not a Muslim? Yeah. If he knows that,
that's what I'm saying.
And then you know that the way of life of a Muslim is that you should wake up at Fajr, which is when the sun is starting to rise, and then you should stay in the masjid until sunrise, ideally, in an ideal world, the sunnah. And then you should walk to the masjid, you walk back, so you're walking, your eyes are getting that light. Then Maghrib time, you're walking to the masjid, you're walking back from the masjid, you get your eyes getting like, and then like the time that you should sleep, how much sleep you should get, and it all relates to kind of the stuff that he's finding through science. It's amazing that he hasn't gone, wow, Islam not predicted, but like predicted, but as in like it's
the perfect lifestyle.
It's the perfect lifestyle for
us.
what I'm finding. Yeah, everything I'm finding out, Islam has already prepared its followers to.
Exactly. Essentially, if you're following Islam, you're going to get all the benefits he's talking about anyway. Because we should be going to Fajr at that time. We should be seeing the sun. We should be seeing the sun throughout the day. We should be seeing the sun at sunset because we should be going to Maghrib Salah, so on and so forth. So, if you're just like doing what you should be doing, you would get all those benefits. And it's just like, how are you as a scientist telling me the colors in the sky, our brains can work out how to govern themselves by just like the colors they're seeing from the sky, and you think that's like an accident?
Yeah, how can that be an accident?
SubhanAllah, like, how are you sitting there like just like not thinking, wow, this is had to have been created, had to have been.
I feel like I remember hearing something once about like, I don't know if it's like membrane or whatever because I don't know much about science, but it was about how many of something are just in like your tooth or something,
right?
And about how like it can detect things, and there's a reason why like when you're eating you never bite your tongue, generally speaking, because it has all of this like way of thinking, and it's incredible.
The human body, like biology, is like, again, you look at the biology and stuff, it's just like another iman booster because you see like all the way.
The existence of God,
Of course, bro, of course. And we were talking about the other day about breastfeeding, and how like when a mother is breastfeeding her baby, it's not just the mother giving the baby milk. The baby's body is actually communicating with the mum's body. The baby's body says, there's literal communication. We have got as a baby this virus, this bacteria, this cold flu virus. We need the antibodies for it. So it sends like a copy, and the mum's brain says, okay, cool, we'll make the antibodies for the baby and put it in the milk, give it to the baby for the milk.
Yeah, even someone who knows that, like a doctor or midwife, how are they not Muslim?
You know what I'm saying? How are you looking at that and thinking, oh, what a fantastic coincidence?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
come on, man, that is phenomenal.
Oh, how are you looking at it going, wow, that's great science?
Yeah,
that's not science. Like that there has to be a creator.
You know what I'm saying? Of course. Like how is it possible to think any other way? And anyway, we're not going to get too deep into it because like we'll go into different tangents. But just looking at these things, it makes you thankful for how merciful Allah is, because you just see Allah's mercy in so many different little ways when you look at the human body. Like that particular thing with a mother and a baby, look at Allah's mercy there, where like the mother is helping the baby's immune system like directly, like communicating directly like that. SubhanAllah. But yeah, scientists, I'm very surprised that they're...
Allah guides who He wills, innit? Allah guides who He wills, not who you love, as He says in the Quran. So, bro, I went to Last Exit Qudra today.
You love that place, isn't it?
No, I haven't been before.
Yes, you have. Qudra. I've been there once or twice.
Have you?
But I didn't actually stop at the thingamajigs. I just we were there to go to Qudra Lakes.
Oh, you went to Qudra Lakes?
Yeah, I think that.
How was that?
It was nice.
Apparently, it's like a lake and it's in the shape of love hearts.
I didn't go to that bit. There's like 5 or 6 areas you can go to.
Yeah, because you're a lad.
Yeah.
You're a man.
I think the area we went to is like probably like the least good place of it, because there's definitely places I've seen pictures of that I didn't go to. So I don't think I did a good job of going, but I have been. Yeah, we
went today because I had a bit of a break from work and we were like, well, there's not a big enough break to actually go out, but we've always wanted to just check it out. So we just drove up to Last Exit, which for context is, there's this amazing place in Dubai called Last Exit Al Khawanij, which is it's like a truck stop basically. It's like a place you go to that's, I suppose, on the last exit.
It's like a luxury truck stop.
And it's like
food trucks, a little more, little lake.
But it's like luxury. It's not like food trucks like how you'd imagine Western International Market on a Sunday with donuts. Like it's like the like really nice restaurants, but they're just like truck versions of them and stuff. And it's lovely. So actually, genuinely one of my favorite places to go to. Nice. I go there a lot. But there's another version in Qudra, and we haven't tried that. And it's really small. People said like it's like a lot smaller and stuff, but it's still decent and nice.
It's nice. Yeah. It's nice. It's literally in the desert, so it's fair. But yeah, it's nice,
some
man.
Camels on the way there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I love seeing the camels, man. I never get sick of seeing the camels.
Really?
I enjoy it. I enjoy a good camel.
Yeah.
In fact, I want to go to Lulu's in Silicon Oasis, and now start selling camel meat.
Have they?
I'm going to buy it and eat some.
Really?
Yeah. I bought buffalo meat.
I'm not that experimental with food, man.
Come around, I'll make you a buffalo soup.
Yeah, buffalo and camel.
I want to make camel. Don't know what to make. I look at some recipes. Maybe I'll make some sort of camel rice dish. Maybe. Really? Yeah, I want to try it. Are you curious?
Nah.
Come on, man. A little bit of camel.
Nah.
Camel and ketchup.
No. No, I'm good with just chicken.
You don't want a camel curry?
Oh, now you're joking.
Come on, man.
Now you got me.
Come on.
I mean, I'm not a huge...
Little camel nahari.
Yeah.
A buffalo biryani.
Oh, man. I'm just straight like chicken, fish.
I'm curious. I mean, I can't imagine I'll eat it like regularly because I don't think it's that.
How do you even season it? Like just salt and pepper, just chuck it in the pan?
I don't know. Apparently camel. What did I hear about it?
It's really tough, I think.
No, I think it's like lamb, similar to lamb.
Okay.
From what I remember from a YouTube video. Buffalo, I got no idea.
But I think with camel, I just don't think of eating it.
I'm happy to, if it's halal, I'll eat it, man.
Have you ridden a camel before?
Yes. At the time, I didn't think about eating it, but now, looking back, edible.
Nah.
Edible beast. Mate, I'm going to make you camel curry.
Yeah, I can.
Come round.
I still haven't tried your coffee, you know that?
Yeah, I was thinking this the other day. Yeah. I've had it for a while now. I need to invite you around.
Yeah. Your Cairo is a luxury roaster, barista.
I'm not luxury. I'm a novice.
Yeah,
I'll try my best to make you a good
coffee.
I'm
looking forward to it, man. It'll be really nice, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So we... you sent me some stuff on WhatsApp today. Do you want to go over what you sent me or not?
Yeah.
What was it?
So one of them was TechCrunch. And basically...
Oh, I read that one actually.
The Muslim about
Yeah,
Muslims.
it's interesting. Yeah. What was it saying?
So basically, they tweeted out TechCrunch. Muslims come into the frame in Southeast Asia's fintech boom. To make services Sharia compliant, a new wave of fintechs don't charge interest, embrace profit sharing, and avoid alcohol and tobacco transactions. So basically, they wrote an article. It seems to be mostly based on startups in Malaysia and Indonesia, who are basically doing what I just said. They're trying to avoid riba, avoiding, certain industries like alcohol, tobacco, and they've just done like a decent little write-up on it. And it's a serious article. Like there's
Indonesia, Malaysia, and Muslim countries. Is Philippines or no?
There's a lot of Muslims in Philippines, but I to my knowledge, I don't think Philippines. I don't think the official origin of Philippines is Islam. But let me check that.
Is it in the same vicinity?
Yeah, it's not far. Philippines religion.
I'd love to go to Indonesia.
Yeah, I've been
We
to Malaysia.
should go to Indonesia sometime, especially grounded.
That'd be nice. I've been to Malaysia.
Yeah.
But yeah, Indonesia looks like amazing. I've got some amazing places. There's also millions, hundreds of millions of Muslims there.
I might be going Canada soon.
You know what? Yeah. Should we talk about Canada?
Why? Do you have negative things to say?
I guess so.
Careful,
Not negative.
Be careful. Ain't
Yeah,
being
sorry.
it.
No,
I don't want to get in trouble.
I'm not trying to offend any Canadanese.
Yeah, but I think that we've actually got a big listener base in Canada.
Well, listen up.
Yeah, so I think like if you're listening to this and you live in Ontario.
Toronto, yeah.
No, yeah, Ontario.
Yeah, Ontario. Hold on, let me try. Ontario, Toronto.
No, Toronto is in Ontario.
Oh yeah.
Toronto, Ontario, I think it's called.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so.
Toronto is the city, right?
Yeah, and Ontario is the state.
Yes. What's the other state? There's Edmonton in Canada. You know that's a state.
Yeah.
You didn't know that.
I did.
Okay.
Because do you know what I just saw?
What?
Did you see the video going viral on social media right now?
No.
I think it's in Edmonton. Well, I might be wrong.
What is
no,
it?
it's not. It's in Germany. It's in Germany.
What is it?
There's a video, bro, subhanAllah, in Germany of... I should verify because I haven't actually... I haven't, first of all, turned the volume up on the video and actually watched it properly because I've read the caption and it was so heartbreaking that I couldn't watch it. But what the caption had said is that there was police in Germany that had arrested... No, sorry, that... The video footage was of police taking a young boy from a house, from a Muslim house. And what the caption said is that they were taking the kid away from the parents because the school complained that the school complained that the kid told the school that he doesn't believe in LGBTQ stuff, basically. This is all that I've read, so the information I've verified. I don't want to fall tale telling, but the reason I will mention it out as a vague thing, so we don't talk about the specific issue in case, because I haven't read the details about it. The reason I'll still mention it, and we should still talk about it, is because regardless of the fact of that situation, if I've recollected it correctly, that is a real thing that happens. It's real that like they're trying to silence like Muslims in schools from believing in what their religion teaches them, and it's very scary. And that it makes you feel so blessed to live here right now, to be honest, where you can hold on to your religion.
Yeah, it's even if it hasn't happened in Germany, which we need to verify. It's definitely happening in Sweden.
It's happening around the world.
It's happening around the world. Europe specifically seems to be like going at this like hard. And when I say going at it, they are essentially, as what you just said, they're looking at Muslim kids in school, essentially vetting them, making sure they haven't got any quote unquote extreme views, like they don't agree with LGBT, and then they're using that as an excuse essentially to take that child from their parents. May Allah give all those parents involved in that justice.
I mean, it's so heartbreaking to see videos like that. Like your heart genuinely sinks. I think even more so when you're a parent.
Of course, man.
And stuff like that. It's like just...
May Allah give them justice.
Scary. I mean,
I was going to ask you, how was your Ramadan? I don't know if you have an episode since Ramadan, haven't you? Or have you?
Yeah, I done one episode since Ramadan. It was like a solo episode, yeah.
Oh, fine. All right.
Yeah. No, but I think I'm going to start doing more episodes because I think it feels like a whole week is too long which I didn't used to feel like that. I used to feel like fine. And also, I recently came across a podcast called Founders. You've heard of it? Founders by...
For the most generic name. This podcast called Podcasters.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've heard of it.
It's called Founders, yeah. And it's got like 100 million downloads.
Okay. Like daily?
No, like overall.
I mean, is it a daily podcast?
Oh, I'm not sure.
David Serra.
Yeah, David Senra.
Senra.
And he said recently on a podcast that it's a like very low operation, and I was thinking, well, then because he even said it's like he doesn't even have a producer and stuff, and so then I started listening to it, and I realized that it's just a podcast of him like telling stories of like great founders.
Yeah.
And I thought, and people are listening to it, and so I thought maybe that's a good way we can do more episodes where it's like if there's good content to speak about it, and then do these episodes, do guest episodes and stuff as well, but just like create more content essentially.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you got Ramadan was great, by the way. On the final day of Ramadan, we hit 100,000 subscribers, alhamdulillah, and it was very exciting. And we're trying to suppress the excitement until we get the plaque.
When is it? Have they reached out to you about a plaque?
Yeah, they reached out to me today.
What did they say?
They asked me for my delivery address.
Nice.
And so I gave it to them. And so now we're awaiting the plaque, inshallah. Once it comes, going to make a 100k video. And the plan is to announce some announcements, which are already exclusively have been announced, some of them for our newsletter readers. So if you're not already on the newsletter, sign up to the newsletter, freshtoguide.com/email.
Do it just for the great usage of the GIFs.
Yeah, just sign up.
Yeah, the GIFs alone are worth it, man.
You know what, bro? Though, yeah,
very good GIF usage.
I appreciate that. I've got some great feedback about the GIFs. However, a lot of thought has to go into them. You know why?
No.
Because you don't want to promote movies and what is it called, like unethical stuff.
Yeah.
So you got to be very like you got to think about it a lot.
Yeah.
When you're selecting a GIF and
you've done it well because you've other than the Vince McMahon one, I feel like they've all been like a generic person who's not a celebrity. I don't think.
No, I use a lot of Michael Scott ones as well.
Okay, yeah, fine.
But I was thinking, look, like I think you can use like Michael Scott GIFs without promoting The Office, for example, because there's just like really funny, awkward GIFs of him. Then like there's also stuff like when people are on like the Jimmy Fallon show or like James Corden show and they're interviewing and like putting faces and stuff, like you can kind of get with. So I am conscious of like sometimes like you've seen a GIF on the internet, you're like, that'd be perfect for this. Or a meme, and you think, well, I just don't want people to. I don't want to advocate for something. I don't know, like there's probably like funny gifs of like Will Smith in Elf or something, but that's not going in our newsletter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So you just got to kind of be, but so the gif you have to rethink about it, and you got to think, well, where's the line? You know, you don't necessarily want to show like maybe someone performing on stage as a musician.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, but it's fun. The newsletter's been really fun.
Yeah. I've enjoyed reading them. They're short and sweet.
Yeah, I've had good feedback from them, which I'm happy about because I'm enjoying writing them. But if you're not already on the newsletter, just sign up at freshtoguide.com/email, and it's just like a newsletter, like maybe once or twice a week, and just dropping some gems, basically.
You are, aren't you?
Hey, gems is what I drop. I used to drop them on the mic. Now I drop them on the keyboard.
There you go. I like it, man. Keep
dropping
it up,
gems. Thanks.
You're a gem dropper.
I am. We should end the podcast because it's 11 p.m. It's 10:43 p.m. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But
how long was the podcast? 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes.
We could go longer if you want to.
Fine.
If you want to.
Yeah, if you got stuff, if you got ammo.
I've got. So I sent you another Twitter.
Yeah, you did.
This is about Y Combinator, which is like a startup incubator. So basically, like startups come to them saying, "We've got a good idea. We need funding," and Y Combinator is like they give funding and they give like mentorship, like on a big scale to like make these startups grow. And Y Combinator has a stake in those, obviously through the funding, stake in the company. So it's in everybody's best interest to make the company grow and do well.
Which is a great business idea for any wealthy Muslims out there that want like a Muslim version of Y Combinator.
1,000,000% Y Combinator for the Muslim world specifically.
Yeah.
Needed and would probably make a ton of money.
And we would apply.
We would apply. We would attempt to become part of it. Yeah. We would attempt all sorts of things. But essentially, Y Combinator accepted 282 startups in the latest batch. So I think they do like 3 or 4 batches a year. At least 30% of them were AI companies, which tells you something.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's like this person's had a
how much do they invest? They invest the same amount in every company, right? Like 50, was it like
I'm not sure,
250 grand or something, isn't it?
I think so. I think that's the case.
Isn't it something like they invest the same amount? It's the same rules for everyone or something like that?
I think you're right.
Same amount of money, same percentage equity.
You would imagine so, innit? Why?
I think so. Let me just turn the AC off.
Funding amount is 500k. We invest 500k in every company on standard terms. They do it on 2 separate safes. We invest 125k. Anyway, it gets too technical. It's basically 500k dollars.
Okay.
Right. So they've done that. They've done that for 282 companies. Wow. How much money?
And who are some examples of companies that started as a Y Combinator company?
Airbnb.
Airbnb was the obvious one.
So hold on. Let me just do 500,000. Wow. So in this latest batch of Y Combinator companies, they've invested $141 million.
Wow.
In 282 companies. So yeah, Airbnb.
Is Uber Y Combinator?
I don't think Uber was. There's a few other big companies there. I think Stripe definitely was.
Stripe, yeah.
Stripe. A few of them. If you type in Y Combinator companies, you'll find it.
Stripe sounds like an exciting company to work in, doesn't it? If you ignore all of like I'm sure like there's interesting stuff, but like as in terms of like a company,
it seems again other than the interest stuff, like a very straightforward company. I say that like with a little bit of a caveat because like it's probably not, but when you think about it, payments, it's just like once you build the payment, because basically Stripe is like a payment thing that you could embed into any system. Essentially,
they turned the payment world on its head, didn't they?
They disrupted it, man,
massively. But you would think that that's probably the most impossible and like hard coded industry to disrupt, with banks being such like going through centuries. And do you remember? I remember growing up that my dad, as a merchant, had to sign up to WorldPay, and then WorldPay would have to accept him, and then they'd charge these like awful rates, and they'd keep the money, and then like pay you quarterly or monthly or whatever. And now, and you have to apply, and I think you even have to apply for WorldPay through going to your bank. Okay. Like it was just super difficult. And then they just completely like you can set up a Stripe account now and in 10 minutes start taking payments.
Yeah, and it's like a beautiful payment system.
And it falls into your bank account.
Yeah, and it's like very sleek. But I feel like
how did they figure that out? And why didn't anybody else do it?
They probably did, man. But it took a lot of funding to do it, because you can't just take on these like big banks and their payment system without a lot of funding, right? Yeah. But I feel like the key for their business, from my professional viewpoint, was that the demand was just so high that like anyone coming in executing half good was going to do well, because it was just like there was too many people paying like an extra $20 for every like transaction they were doing. It was just like, why do I have to pay this? Like and Stripe comes in and like lowers that, whatever they lowered it to. Similar to Wise or TransferWise, they essentially did the same thing, but for international transfers and currency exchanges. Instead of paying, if you were to send money to, Pakistan, for example, instead of paying Barclays an extra 10 quid on your end, and then the Pakistani bank an extra 30 quid on their end, and everybody's like losing money to the banks, TransferWise said, no, we'll do it for you, and we'll only charge you like a quid on each side. And then they become $1 billion company, multi-billion dollar company, because...
Isn't it amazing how like sometimes everyone's trying to think outside the box, and it's the most simple problems that get solved that you'd think that everyone's been trying to solve, so it won't work. Like you, as Stripe, you'd go, well, PayPal is in that world. Like, how are we going to take on PayPal?
Yeah.
Like PayPal got their own card machine. You can take money. You can deposit into your bank. How are we going to take that on?
Yeah.
PayPal dropped the ball, man.
They did, innit? They did drop the ball, man. But again, they take that. There's quote unquote easy problems to solve,
and Stripe have a beautiful website. Sorry,
it's sleek, man. The checkout page that you get as a customer is beautiful. It's just like it's almost like you become Apple, where it's like, oh, beautiful like checkout page, and it's so sleek. But yeah, there's easy problems to solve, and there's like very difficult, complex, going against major industry problems to solve. That's what Stripe did, and the reward is obviously huge, man. But I imagine in the early days they had to raise a lot of money, and it was very tough. They probably had like legal issues. no doubt it must have legal issues.
Yeah, it must have loads of legal issues.
For me, it's not the kind of company I'd ever want to start because it just sounds like, mate, I'd rather make like a quarter of the money with like less headache.
Yeah.
But some people like, again, we listen to like some of these business podcasts and stuff. Some people just love the idea of just like taking on, you know, big banking or big pharma and winning. And we need that to happen, but it's not going to be me. I don't want to do that.
Like Uber took on the whole they took on the entire world of taxis.
Yeah,
around the whole world.
When that was happening, you know, it was early days.
That's crazy.
And there was a big backlash of like, and anyone who knew a taxi driver, it was kind of sad because it was like they could see their livelihood sort of going down the drain a little bit. And there was this sort of backlash, wasn't there? It was like taxi drivers and whoever knew taxi. Oh, my dad's a taxi driver. My uncle's a taxi driver. There was like a pushback on Uber. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
How did you feel in that time?
I was like, it's a great business idea.
Yeah. Did you feel bad like for taxi drivers?
But me and Sam had a podcast about this, and we had an argument on the podcast. The only time me and Sam have ever had an argument, we had it live on the podcast.
Really?
Yeah, because Sam was really passionate about like the jobs of black cab drivers because he knows some personally.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, Uber's a sick idea. And years later, Sam apologized to me.
Really?
Yeah, very like years later, and he was like, "You're right."
Yeah, I was the same as you. I was like, it's tough. My uncle was also
this
a
is also
taxi
the world
driver.
we live in, bro, man. Like, if someone like Uber's gonna come and disrupt it, it's tough because people are black cab drivers for sure. I'm not denying that, but we can't change what happens.
Things will change. Industries have to change, and you just have to adapt to that. Like right now, ChatGPT is like disrupting tons of industries, including my industry.
Yeah,
and we'll have to like do a little bit of a pivot here, like make sure like we're protected from that. It's just life, man. Like there's always going to be, whether you're into farming, software, taxiing, podcasting, there's always something going to come along and change things.
Yeah,
you got to change.
Yeah, man.
You got to move with the times, baby.
Well, who else was it? Oh, we were talking about Stripe being an interesting company. There's another company.
Airbnb, Uber. Who else did we mention?
Nah, there was someone on my mind. I was thinking it's an interesting company, but I can't remember who now.
I mean, Airbnb is another good example. They took on hotelier industry.
Yeah, you know, I feel like people I feel like they didn't defeat hotels though.
No,
right? And I feel like people would still prefer. I still prefer hotel to Airbnb.
Yeah, I don't even like Airbnb.
Yeah,
I'm not a kind of. I want the experience of a hotel.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't necessarily. They just created a new.
A different type of experience.
Yeah, there's this model in business that's, I can't remember the name of it now. It's called like the Asterix. What is it called? It's called. It's gonna really annoy me now. The Anstros model, something. Astros. Oh gosh, I really want to find out.
It's like when you create a new little niche.
But yeah, basically what it means is a model to, as a business, evaluate which department you should grow in. So there's like 4 or 5 different departments that you should grow in. Should I just get it up? So then you can like figure out. The Asnoff Matrix.
Okay, never heard of it.
So the Asnoff Matrix is a strategic tool that helps businesses decide their growth strategies by analysing potential market and product combinations. So there's a few different options you have. So as a company, where should we grow? How should we grow? The Asnoff Matrix helps you figure out which department you should try and grow in. And so one department is market penetration. So you can try and grow by trying to attract new customers or existing customers to buy more. The second option is market development. So you expand your business by entering new markets, which is often obviously very difficult. So like by having new and different sales channels, new customer segments, understanding new markets. Option 3 is product development. So that's when you just try and improve your current product. And then option 4 is diversification. So when you try and enter unknown territories or unfamiliar offerings. And so an example of market penetration, like the first one, is like when people are offering like price adjustments or promotions. That's an example of market penetration where you're just trying to continue getting the same customers to constantly like you're trying to change your thing. So anyway, the point is this. Is that I feel like when you look at something like Airbnb, they didn't necessarily replace hotels. They probably did this, like, option 2, market development, where they have basically found a new segment of people, but they didn't necessarily replace hotels, and they've been successful at doing it, so it's fine. Whereas when you look at something like Stripe, you look at Stripe, and I think Stripe is a perfect example in this Asnoff matrix of product development. They've seen a product, they've got a product, and it started as you can basically allow people, because I remember Stripe in the early days, bro. You basically could set it up with your online store and take money. It went from that to eventually what I thought was quite monumental was you could create a payment link. So I can just send you a link and take in payments.
Right.
And now you can do so much with it. It's got Stripe Express, it's got payment links, you can set up your whole store with it, you can do subscriptions. But what they did, bro, is that they just developed their product better and better and better and better and better over time. And now it is what it is. Yeah. So I think that out of all of those 4 options in the Asnoff matrix, the most reliable, but also the most difficult for growth is product development. If you could just get obsessed with improving your product, everything else falls into place, and that's what Amazon done as well. Although you could say that they did diversification, they did, but that's not what Jeff Bezos says. If you ask Jeff Bezos, look, if not me, you can just, if you ask Jeff Bezos, he has said in numerous interviews things like, I just try to figure out how we can make our product better. If nobody's going to say, I love Amazon, but the customer service is too good, so I worked on improving our customer service. No one's going to say, I love Amazon, but the delivery is too fast, so I worked on improving delivery speed. And so that's a perfect example of focusing on your product and then it growing because of that.
Yeah.
But also they did diversify.
They did, and also like, it's a form of market penetration. Like when Amazon was announcing, oh, hey, now we do a 2-day delivery or a 1-day delivery or a same-day delivery, just by announcing that feature, it was like a new form of like market penetration. Like, the feature's so good, it's like, of course you're going to use it. You know? So I guess that's a good way, that's a good example of like how, if your product development is very, very good, it sort of hits all the nails on the head.
Yeah, it does,
which probably makes it the most powerful one, because if you're just doing market penetration, you're not really developing a product or doing other stuff. Whereas a very good product development strategy would do all of them at once. So that's interesting. But Airbnb, so I was curious, guess how much of a percentage, this is a study done by the National Bureau of Economic Research, right?
Wow.
Otherwise known as the NBER. Maybe you've heard of that? I haven't.
No, maybe.
I haven't.
No.
So the entry of Airbnb resulted in a X% fewer hotel nights booked and an X% loss in hotel revenue. What do you think it was?
Well, I do think that at the beginning it was very high. I think it starts to level out now.
Right, I probably agree with you.
Yeah, because I remember like, oh, I'm never booking a hotel again.
Yeah.
But now I'll
have you booked Airbnb before?
Yeah, numerous times. Yeah.
I think I did it in Bosnia.
I think there's a few things that have ruined Airbnbs for me. First of all, I think one time we stayed in Airbnb and it was literally like it literally felt like you're staying in someone else's house. Yeah. I think that was more like the early days, because now what Airbnb have done is people buy properties specifically for Airbnb, which I want to do as well. So I say I hate Airbnb, but I do want to buy some properties and then just Airbnb them, inshallah. So, but back in the day it wasn't like that. Back in the day it was, because their purpose was initially, you can rent out your house or your living room, or like a spare bedroom in your house for when like there's events happening nearby.
They have people do living rooms. I've heard of Sam Parr's story with the Airbnb founders.
Yeah, he was living with them, right?
Like he literally, I think he was going to an event for them or with them or near them, and he booked the Airbnb
of the founder,
and it happened to be the founder's one. And he literally, like, he turned up and the founder's like, oh yeah, I've got your mattress. He's like, a mattress in the living room or something like that.
Mad, isn't it?
Mad.
So that was the initial thing, but it's adapted. So, but that initial kind of like experience put me off a bit, because it felt like we were literally in someone else's house, and but now it's a little different. The second thing is that I think there was a huge rise in social media of people exposing Airbnbs that had hidden cameras. And I think that was really bad for Airbnb's branding. It might not have been as bad because I don't know the numbers, but I feel like I saw it in so many places that me personally, when I saw so many of those videos, and it could have been people like, you can't believe everything on social media, but you saw these people like undoing something and there was like a secret camera in there, they're undoing and I just thought, you know what?
It's not worth it. I'm
just going to stay in a hotel.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I agree with everything you just said, and I also, like, for me personally,
the experience.
When I'm traveling, I want someone that's like as comfortable as my house or better.
Yeah.
So it's like Airbnb is like, I'm always accepting from the get go. It's like, I mean, unless it's one of those more luxury ones, but you end up paying like 3 times the price of a hotel anyway. And it's like, if you just pay for something that's like a hotel price, it's like you can feel that this is someone's house, or you can feel that
you can't ring room service.
Yeah, it's not a hotel when you feel it's walking. It's just like, man, I'm kind of just like at home again, and it's like I've got none of the luxuries.
And you feel unfamiliar in the house as well.
Unfamiliar, and you got none of the luxuries that are associated with a hotel, like not say luxury, I just feel like, again, room service or the maid coming in or stuff like that. There's breakfast downstairs at 10 a.m. you can go to. Not here. You got to make your own eggs. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm traveling across the world, I want someone to make my eggs. Yeah. You know, so it doesn't give me that. But anyway, I'm going to press you on this.
There are some Airbnbs though that do provide a cook.
They provide eggs?
Actually, yes. Because we stayed in an Airbnb in Morocco where they provided a cook for the
specifically eggs?
She's made eggs, yes.
Fine. Then I'll retract my statement.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm going to push you on this. Hold on.
Okay.
The entry of Airbnb resulted in an X% fewer hotel nights booked.
Yeah. Okay.
This is across 10 US cities, by the way, so bear that, man.
Fine.
And an X% loss in hotel revenue.
Okay, so I do think it's high at the beginning. So
do it for like the last year or so. So we're not talking about when it first launched.
Oh, last year.
It's not saying that, but let's just say that.
20%.
1.3 and 5%. 1.3 and 1.5%.
Oh wow.
So not a lot at all. I would have thought.
Makes sense.
Even I thought, like you, it didn't have much impact, but I'm shocked at how low an impact that is.
Yeah.
I do think.
But I don't think that takes away from Airbnb's success.
No,
obviously, clearly.
I think they found a new segment of people.
That's what I'm saying.
Who do want to just do that for whatever reason. They don't want their eggs in the morning. No idea why.
Yeah.
But I feel like people who are booking hotels were never going to stop booking hotels. And I think they found a new segment of people who are just like, I want to live on someone's couch.
But I would prefer a Hilton hotel than a luxury Airbnb.
Yeah.
Like I've seen some luxury Airbnbs where they got a pool, they got a games room.
Yeah.
I just still prefer a hotel room.
Who's cleaning the games room, Faisal?
Do you know what I mean? But you just feel like unfamiliar, but like
you're cleaning the games room.
Yeah, exactly. I'm cleaning.
Yeah, before bed, you got cleaning games room now. Well, what a great holiday.
It's nice to look at that house and be like, oh, this would be a nice house to own for myself one day. But to live in it just feels like
just to rent it for a few days.
Yeah, and I thought I was being romantic by booking an Airbnb because the first Airbnb I booked, we went to stay either Peak. What are those Peak things called in the UK?
Oh, Peak District.
Peak District, or it was Lake District. I can't remember which one.
Okay.
I think it was Peak District.
Yeah.
And so I booked Airbnb Peak District, and it looked very cozy and nice. It was like a studio flat.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
It was kind of nice, but then my wife was very uncomfortable. She was like, I just feel like I was staying in someone's house. And it did have really a lot of vibes of someone else's yard.
Yeah.
You feel like using someone's shower and stuff. It just, at least the hotel, you know what you're getting. Like,
exactly,
other people have stayed here, but it's the purpose of the building is for other people to stay here. And a maid comes and cleans. I mean, I know hotels are disgusting. There's videos about remotes. Yeah. Like a remote in a hotel room has like more dirt. There's like a dirt calculator or something. Yeah. And it has like more dirt than like like there's this device that calculates like how much dirt. Yeah. Apparently the hotel room.
That makes sense.
But you can't be like. I feel like someone who like checks that staff is a bit too.
They've gone too far in it.
A bit.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't want to be rude, but also how many people have like had serious injuries from a hotel room remote being dirty? You know what I mean?
It's true, yeah, you're right. I doubt that everyday person's remote is that clean either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you've had your TV for a year or two, which most people have, your remote's probably horrible. Yeah. You're disgusting.
Do you know what else? Thanks. Even steering wheels.
The fact you're doing that right in front of me is making me sick. Yeah, I know. Steering wheels. Oh, yeah.
Casting was.
Bro, phones. There's been many studies that phones are more dirty than toilet seats.
That makes sense because I imagine that you clean your toilet seat way more than you clean your phone.
You clean your toilet seat with your phone, isn't it? Like, no, but when you think about it, the phone goes everywhere. You put it down at a restaurant. You put it in. You usually take it to the toilet with you, so it's there as well. Yeah. You probably don't sit on it, but.
It must be so dirty. And there's people. I'm sure there's people in the world who like regularly clean their phones antibacterially.
Yeah, I'm not one of those guys.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I cleaned my phone.
I imagine my phone is disgusting.
Mine's new, to be fair, so maybe that's
disgusting.
Less disgusting. Yeah.
It's disgusting.
I clean my laptop regularly.
Why
do I clean my laptop regularly, not my phone?
Wow, yeah, that's a good point.
Because you're on your laptop.
Your phone's definitely more dirty though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I might clean it today now.
Yeah, you probably should, man.
I've even got the lens cleaner stuff.
Yeah, I think of that.
Let's do it now after the podcast.
Shall we do that as a bonding session? Yeah, FGT bonding session.
Yeah, right. Let's end the pod, man. Guys, thank you so much for listening to Freshly Grounded. This has been Freshly Grounded. Thanks for listening to Freshly Grounded.